Welcome to Freezer Milk Podcast. I'm your host, Bridget, along with my husband, Chris. Podcast where we talk about the comedic side and serious side of parenting, life, and relationships. We are boy parents. We have two boys, Enzo and Rhett, with about a 6-year age gap between the two. You can check out our website, freezermilk.com. Also, feel free to follow us on Instagram at Freezer Milk Podcast. Thanks and hope you enjoy.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
I finally made it home.
You did.
Yeah, it was a long week for everybody involved.
Were you not home last week?
No.
Oh, yeah. You weren't home last week.
Yeah, the family falls apart when I travel, so.
True fact. 100% fall apart. Thank God for our nanny.
Yeah, she put in extra overtime last week for sure.
She worked double hours last week. And she, kept on top of making sure the sink was empty of dishes.
The house was clean.
House was picked up.
Yeah, the house was picked up when I got home. It's one of my biggest pet peeves, unfortunately.
I was we don't pay you enough.
so OCD that I came home to a clean house. It was nice. But I made it and was able to accomplish everything I needed to accomplish. And
oh my God, Rhett was so excited when you got home.
yeah, you said he was tripping a little bit towards the end of that week.
Yeah, towards the end of the week, he kept, running over to the garage door and, yelling Dada or, running over to your office door because I kept it closed and, yelling for you and banging on the door.
It's so amazing, how he is developed and how he is changing and, you're obviously always number one to him, but, for comforting and, for somebody to play with, it's me,
I love that. It was, I think, the day after you got home, he was cutting a tooth and he just was not feeling good. And he nursed with me, but then he just wanted you to just hold him and just lay on your chest.
Yeah, it was really weird. He doesn't normally do that. He's a very much running around playing with his toys and, seeing what everybody's up to. And that day, he laid on my chest, put his head into my shoulder, and just laid there for 30 minutes?
Yeah, both you and Enzo were did he fall asleep? And I pulled up where we could see him on the camera, his face, and he was just wide awake, exactly where he wanted.
He was struggling today when you were still working, and our nanny had left, and so he came, and I was kind of laying on the couch, and he came and jumped up on my chest and just laid there for 10 minutes, just trying to collect himself, and I think it's just soothing to him.
And as he's becoming much more of a pacify, where he likes to do certain things to pacify himself. He loves it, to lay on your chest, or he nurses now, not really for hunger anymore, but he'll want to just for comfort pacify with me.
It's hard because yes, we have a nanny, but she's not full time because obviously that's expensive.
It's like a mortgage payment.
Yeah, it's extremely expensive, but she comes in and helps us, a few hours a week. And both myself and Bridget work from home, and we're very involved in our jobs. I've been beating myself up over the last year because I don't feel like I've been putting in enough hours with my job, and the more time I actually spend with him, the realize I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I'm just so thankful that I get to spend that time with him because I think it was you that sent me an Instagram or a TikTok or something like that, and it was basically, you only get 0 to 4 in a child's life once, and it's very special years.
It's tough years.
Once you miss it, it's missed. You don't get it back.
Well, it's we look at Rhett, and he's 15 months old now, and he even you noticed just in the time that you went away for work and came back, you were gone 1 week. Mm-hmm. And he grew up more in that 1 week where he had more of a little kid personality and more wanting to play and wanting to read books and wanting, certain things to eat. And
yeah, it's crazy how fast he's growing. How, I can remember the days that we were at wit's end because he was having stomach issues and he was just colicky and he was just very uncomfortable and crying all the time. And we were just so burnt, and he has changed so much since then.
You know what's crazy is already his 4 to 6 month age is like such a distant memory for me to recall. So think about like, July through September, October. You don't have a lot of memories distinctly from that period.
Yeah, I guess your brain tries to block that stuff out.
Not even that. Like, it wasn't... He was past his stomach stuff at that point. And, like, we did the San Diego trip with him. Like, we had a lot of fun with him. But because of the fact that his our first memories of him when he was a brand new newborn were really tough. And then because of all the memories we're making now with him, like, having a whole little personality, your brain's like, these ones aren't as important anymore.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy to think about? Like, it's only been about a year since that time frame, and already your brain struggles to, like, remember specifically, those months.
Well, he's funny. I mean, he's constantly coming in my office and taking my stuff off my desk and running around the house with it, and it's just a whole different kid.
He, likes it when you, chase him down?
Yeah, he loves being chased around I do a game where I chase him around the couch or I chase him around the kitchen island, and he just has a heyday with it. And he'll actually let you know, like, if he's had enough and he just needs a minute, or if he obviously gets overstimulated because he gets cranky. And if you just, like, he was getting overstimulated tonight, and, he had the TV on, you were trying to cook, and he was just whiny.
He was tired.
He was tired, but he was whiny. So I finally just said, you know what? I'm going to take him in his room. No noise. Just sit down. Hang out in there. He can play with his toys. We read a couple books. Well, our version of trying to read a couple books. And he was fine. And, he went to bed and that was it.
That's a big difference we've done with Rhett versus Enzo is we did not establish at an early age that your room is an okay place to also play and, hang out. Mm-hmm. It was pretty much your room was sleep with Enzo.
Yeah, but if you remember, Enzo didn't have a room when he was young, really, because he...
At about 3.5 is when we got him his own room.
Yeah, but, I mean...
Even then, though, we didn't...
We shared a single-bedroom apartment.
Yeah. We didn't establish, though, even at, 3.5, we didn't establish when he got his own room, we didn't, go in there and hang out very often.
Yeah.
And we do that with Rhett a lot.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And so Rhett is, very comfortable with knowing, my room is a safe space, my room is... calm but fun. It's not just, oh no, I have to go to sleep if we're in here. It's interesting. It's something I want to try to do, with the next babies. Make sure we also do that with,
Well, yeah, because now Enzo, being 7, he has to, he's probably like every other 7-year-old, but he has to be entertained constantly.
He's finally starting to enjoy hanging out in his room because we were, let him listen to Audible. So he listens to, Harry Potter, or he recently has discovered his love for, reading at the library, not at the library, but getting books to read.
Yeah.
And he'll just go lay on his bed for, 45 minutes and, read a book.
That's, it's awesome. He's always trying to get me to read his books, like Dog Man or something. I'm like, dude, I can't do it. I can't do that. I don't know. I wasn't a big reader when I was a kid. Yeah. I wasn't, the books that I did read were manuals. I used to read a lot of manuals. It was really weird because my dad always had manuals laying around the house. So I would just read how to fix a lawnmower or, he'd always have the Heinz or the Gaines vehicle manuals.
What's a Gaines?
It's a Haynes. I'm sorry. Haynes or Gaines? One of the automotive manuals, how to fix cars and shit like that.
Huh.
Yeah. That's what I did. I wasn't much for sitting down and reading cartoon books. I've never been that way.
Yeah.
But.
And I made him get a couple, so he got what I would consider a throwback classic. He got one of the Boxcar Children's books. And you guys know Boxcar Children out there. Probably read them when you were a small child. But he likes to read graphic novels because it's kind of like a comic. Right. But Boxcar Children's a true fictional mystery type book that has almost no pictures whatsoever. So it is just an actual novel to try to read. And he's getting through it. I think he's at 60-some pages in it already.
I'm not concerned. If he wants to be a bookworm, he can be a bookworm. Hopefully he'll end up a lot higher and farther ahead than me, from reading. But, I appreciate the fact that he likes to read. Because I don't have that attention span. I can't just sit there and read a book. I'm I got to be doing something. I'm out there cleaning the papers or, watering the plants or whatever the case may be. I can't sit there and read a book.
Yeah. Enzo's gotten really good at it, and I appreciate that. It's funny, though. So he has an Alexa in his room because he listens to, like, Audible and stuff like that on it. So we had to set up, like, parameters with him, like, hey, we don't try to turn on an audiobook at 5:45 in the morning.
Right, because he would try that, and we could hear it through our
monitor. Scared the living daylights out of me the first time it popped on. So we had to, like, set up parameters of, like, you can listen to it after 7 a.m. if you would like, but not prior.
Because he gets up early. Sometimes. He goes to bed at, a decent hour. He goes to bed at 8 o'clock, and then he gets up at 5 o'clock. I'm like, dude,
sometimes
what are you doing?
Sometimes he sleeps till, like, 6:30 or 7.
I'm like, crazy. Are you going to be one of those kids when you're older where you sleep till noon, 2 o'clock? Or are you going to just get up early?
I never slept that late as a teenager.
Boys do that a lot.
Did you?
High school, kind of.
Yeah.
But I would stay out and party all night, so.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah. I mean, I had reasons for sleeping that late. But I'm not concerned. I think he'll be just fine. He's an extremely intelligent kid who doesn't, honestly doesn't get in trouble. If he wants to read.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He, like, every day we go to the library because he had camp this past week, which he enjoyed it, and he ended up, like, doing really well, and, like, he had, like, his team won the, like, battle robots, but he had very high expectations that were not met.
Well, I think that was kind of my fault, because I had told him about when I was in high school, and I was in a design and fighting robot class, and we got to build fighting robots, BattleBots. And there was actually a championship for it that we had.
Did they have fire and chainsaws?
No, I mean, they couldn't have weapons, but they...
He, like, legit, he must have seen it on, like a kid's TV show or something. So he, like, legit thought that they were going to build battle robots with, like, he was like, I want one that has fire and a flipper and maybe a chainsaw.
Yeah, he got the flipper idea from me, because...
yeah, he did.
Because that was how we built our bot.
Enzo, this is not... Yeah, no, you're building these out of Legos, bud.
Right.
He was so disappointed.
Yeah.
But his team won, and he got to, like, do one of the, like, winning parts of the tournament, so that helped.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's 7. What are they going to do? Give him they wouldn't know how to design a robot like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe they would, I don't know.
But so it was at the library, so, like, every day after camp was over, I'd be like, okay, we got, like, 10 minutes, run in, like, grab a book or two, let's go. And he'd grab them, and most of them were the graphic novels. He'd finish it that night and then return it the next day.
Yep, get another book.
Like, that's crazy.
Thank God for public libraries.
I haven't been in years.
I don't think Rhett's going to be the reader.
Yeah, probably not.
He's the daredevil. He likes to climb up on everything and fall off everything. And
we have a poof in our, like, a poof ottoman in our living room. And right when you got back, he started realizing that he could climb on top of it, and then he wants to stand on it. And I'm like, the floor is tile under the area rug. Like, tile. This is not something you want to be doing.
He doesn't care.
No. His second child syndrome.
Right.
You want to have a laugh about our cooking fails this week?
Yeah. Well, I tried to... You had ordered food for delivery, and you surprised us with steaks, pretty good steaks, and again, we don't have a grill at the new house yet, and it's Arizona in the summertime, and no one wants to go outside, so I've been trying to cook in our air fryer, and I swear by the air fryer, it'll cook it perfect.
And it did. It would have. You cooked it a little bit longer because you kept checking it, but it would have cooked it perfect. Like it was very moist. It was not dried out. Yeah,
I mean it was a little bit drier than I wanted, but I screwed up on the seasoning. And for anybody that's cooked a steak, you understand that seasoning goes a long way, and I really blew it with that. So that the steak was not fantastic. Let's put it that way. So I was extremely disappointed.
You looked at disgust at me because I took the knife and scraped all the seasoning off of mine.
Yeah.
I did actually consider rinsing.
There is a such thing as over seasoning, and I did that. We don't get steaks ever.
We haven't cooked them in a very long time.
It was kind of like a little date thing, and I just completely blew it. Like,
so tonight I was like, okay, I feel pretty decent, medication's working, not throwing up. I'm going to make some dinner, and one of the main highlights of the dinner was artichoke, because you and I really enjoy with a good artichoke, like, you boil it and then it gets all nice and soft, and you sit there and you dip it in some melted butter with a little bit of like garlic salt in it, and it's delicious.
Right.
And we love it. So I looked online at like different options, and there was like 27 different artichoke roasted in the air fryer recipes. And I was like, okay, let me see which one has the most reviews. Went through, read it. The reviews were all raving reviews. This turned out amazing. I love it. It's so much faster than boiling it. It tastes great. The flavor's so good. Blah, blah, blah. Now, they looked beautiful and roasted and so pretty.
At least you got a good photo out of it.
Right? We literally had to throw them all away.
They were all hard.
They were like, it didn't, like, they had you like put olive oil and lemon juice and all of that on it, which is supposed to help break it down and like cook it.
That didn't happen.
No, not at all. I was like, I don't understand.
Theirs just a little bit different in Arizona. These people are probably cooking back west. And
humid environments. Yeah. We have zero humidity.
So, needless to say, this was fail number 2 for the week.
And I was so bad. I just was like...
I think, honestly, we should just stick to what we know. Next time we'll boil the artichokes, and next time I'll do salt and pepper on the steaks.
Yep.
Call it a fucking day.
Yep.
Maybe we'll actually end up with a dinner. So, she had to throw all her artichokes away. She took nice decorative photos of them, at least. Threw them away.
They looked gorgeous,
right?
Yeah,
they looked good, but they were hard as a rock.
Yeah. You couldn't even peel the petals off of them.
And she ended up making spaghetti. So
when in doubt,
here we are. It's been a week already, and it's only Tuesday.
God, how's it only Tuesday?
I don't know, man. I could have sworn when I woke up this morning it was Friday.
Or Thursday.
I was extremely disappointed. So we're getting a pool renovation, or we're doing a pool.
A pool build.
A pool build in our backyard. And for anybody that knows what it's like to do a pool during a pandemic and inflation and labor shortages, it's...
In Arizona,
it's been a process. Although our builder is fantastic,
Yeah, our builder's been amazing.
I don't have any complaints.
We're watching all of our neighbors, and I feel so bad for them.
Yeah, I have no complaints. But I added some pavers to the front of my house through the side gate, so I had a place to put trash cans.
Yeah. So in Arizona, like, it's very standard that your trash and recycle go on the side of your house, and all of the houses out here have cinder block walls as the fencing. They don't do like normal East Coast style fencing or chain link fencing or privacy, like, wood board fence. Like, it's 6 foot cinder block wall, so you have like a prison yard in your backyard.
Yeah, that's all. It's because of the heat.
Yeah, it's just it's very standard. So you have a gate that goes up about 6 feet, 5 feet maybe, and it's a gate with like wood slats on it, and behind that is normally where you would put your trash can and recycle. But in Arizona, majority of your houses have gravel for the front yard, aside from like plants, but they have like decorative gravel. And if you've ever tried to drag a full trash can through gravel, it's not very successful.
No, it's not an easy thing to do.
It's like trying to drag it through sand.
Yeah, so
out here it's pretty standard to, if you like pay to get, some renovations done on your yard and landscape and all of that, to get installed a paver walkway going to your backyard and like a trash pad for them to sit on.
Right. So it wasn't originally part of the scope of work with our builder, but
the pool builder.
But we knew we had to do something back there because the drainage was off, and we needed somewhere to put our trash cans. Because currently we're those people that they just sit in our driveway. We look like a bunch of hillbillies.
I don't want it in the garage, especially the heat out here.
No, it stinks. You don't want your nasty trash can. I try to put the recyclable, which that's a joke in itself. But anyway. So I finally, said, hey, I want to do some pavers. So he was able to track down some pavers for us and put this thing in. And like, I love the way our pool looks and our backyard looks, but I went out there today because they just finished it today, and I was like, you know what? This is the best part of it all. Like,
I think part of it, like, it's awesome, but I think part of it is that the backyard's not done yet.
Yeah, I know. Once the backyard's done, I'll probably be thinking differently, but they plan it
Currently, it's the only part of the yard that is completely done, is the...
Yeah, they planted all the plants and bushes, and they're a little haggard. They're trying, but they're struggling a little bit, unfortunately.
I guess I had a really bad heat wave last week.
Yeah, it was really hot, and you really shouldn't be transplanting plants or trees.
100 plus degrees.
Yeah, I mean, that's a spring, fall thing,
Yeah.
Something like that. But so they're in shock right now, and we're trying to get them to bounce back. So I'm over watering them and trying to get them. But I don't know. I just felt like the paver pad was just the next best thing. It was amazing.
Looks amazing.
They did a really good job.
They did an amazing job. They somehow leveled the part of our yard that was not level at all.
Right.
Like, it had a hard slope.
Mm-hmm.
And they, like, got it level, and without it being obvious that they had to, like, do a lot of work to get it level. Like, it looks like it was just always that way. It's amazing. And the color scheme goes beautifully with the house. And I stained the gate. It was like, we've lived here like 2 days, and I stained the wood slats on the gate.
You got like bored, and you're like, I'm gonna go stain this. And I'm
like, okay. Project.
And now it makes sense. Now that the paver's there, I'm like, oh shit, that actually pops. Good job.
It looks so good.
I was like, I don't know why she's doing that, because it's kind of tucked back behind our side of the house. And you don't really notice it. And you add the pavers, and you look from the front, and you look at the gate, and look at the pavers. You're like, oh shit, it all matches.
They're color coordinated.
So that's the excitement that we've had this week. It's been nice. It was nice to see that something got completed.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. Makes me excited for when the rest of it gets done.
Yeah. Well, he's trying. I mean, he really is. It's hard to get material right now.
Again, like...
He's got the guys. He just can't get the material.
I look at, like, some of these other pool builders, because we're a new build community, so everybody is getting, pools and landscape done and backyards done and pergolas and outdoor barbecue, like everything. And just seeing... We went with a smaller pool builder that has a really good reputation, but they only take referral clients right now. And they keep their client list low to help their turnaround times be faster.
Yeah.
And we've absolutely seen that.
Oh, yeah. The neighbor right behind us was way ahead of us. I mean, they were probably, I'd say 30 to maybe 45 days ahead of us.
I think they were dug when we first had our pool builder out here in February.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They were.
Their hole was like dug.
The house has been 30 to 45 days ahead of us, and our backyard is currently way farther ahead. We're tiled. We're just waiting on decking, and we're waiting on. We're just waiting on decking right now. But I mean, really,
it's crazy to think about. Like, really, all that's kind of left is get the pool decking in. Once the pool decking's in, they can install the fence.
Well, they can do their curbs, and then they can do the turf, and they can do the fencing. Fencing is going to be one of the later.
Yeah, so the pool decking, and then the curbing or the border of the artificial turf, and then the artificial turf, and then they can do the fence, and then they go for final inspection.
All in all, it's
very quick.
Yeah, it's almost done.
Because they've done all the landscape they absolutely can. They rebuilt back the cinder block wall they knocked down to bring the...
Yeah, but all I can think about now is just sitting out, floating on my unicorn raft with my mojito and my plate of nachos. I'm just like, I can't wait until I can get in my thong bikini and get out there and just, lay in the pool.
Adds to Amazon cart.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just excited to have a pool. I mean, we've been wanting to have a pool in our back. We couldn't do it in the last house.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have the yard for it. Plus, it was really expensive. Now it's even more expensive. But we were like, you know what?
We work from home.
We work from home. So what else are we going to do in Arizona? Everything's too expensive. So we're like, you know what? We'll just do a pool.
Pay the cost.
Well worth it. I think in the end, I think we'll get a lot of use out of it. We'll enjoy it. The kids will enjoy it. Now we got to figure out how to teach both of them to swim right. Enzo's...
He's getting a lot better.
He's scared. Yeah, he's scared of his own shadow, and he doesn't have a ton of confidence. So
he's getting a lot better in the pool. He's been doing swim lessons for a while, and then he practices. His dad's house that he runs has a pool, so that helps.
Yeah.
And then one of the neighbors down the way does the infant rescue swim training. So I think we're going to put Rhett in that.
I hear that's the scariest shit in the world to watch as a parent.
we might do it with the nanny.
Have her do it. Go down there and do it. Because they straight up like dunk them under the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it works really well. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably like some kind of natural reaction to...
It's just, so they don't teach them to swim. They teach them...
to fall in the water and float.
Fall in the water, flip over, and float on your back.
Until somebody comes and gets them.
Yep. And that's all you need to teach them at first. Like...
So what are we going to teach Enzo? Same thing? Maybe he should go down there and do it too.
Right.
He's been in swimming lessons for... What? He was in it for like a year. Mm-hmm. Year and a half.
He did improve quite a bit from where he started.
He's not as scared. He was very timid of the water for a while.
He's actually not scared. Like at the pool party we went to, he's not really scared at all.
That's good.
Yeah. He just is not independent enough to about
I think
too deep.
I think he would be fine like by himself if there wasn't a ton of kids around him splashing and getting him all worked up. But it's just like the playground. He doesn't, he's kind of antisocial. We took him to the playground the other day. It was a nice day out, a Saturday morning. We were trying to get the kids out of the house. And we take him to the playground, and he immediately, these kids show up. He was playing, and then these kids show up, and he's like, you know what, I want to go. I don't want to be here.
They were loud, and there was a lot of them.
We were outside.
It doesn't matter.
It was a park.
It wasn't a huge playground.
Still.
And they had 6 kids.
It was 3 or 4.
4 kids. And they were screaming.
Why don't you play with the kids? He complains to me constantly about...
We also teach him stranger danger.
I don't have anything to do. These kids are the same age as him, if younger. And he comes to me all the time saying he's bored and he needs something to do, and he's upset because he doesn't get to play with friends. And I'm like, there's kids here and you didn't play with them. I don't know, man. These kids are crazy.
I think it's kind of you and I though too, because it's not like we're going to go socialize with the parents.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been antisocial since high school. So, I mean, yeah, I'm 35 years old now. I don't need to go hang out with a bunch of people. My life's pretty much over. No, just kidding.
Okay.
But anyway, that was our week. It was, I don't know. We need to get one of these date nights in. So maybe we'll do that this week. Yeah. It's very hard to do with kids.
I feel like we need to figure out a date morning. Maybe we'll see if we can get a babysitter for Saturday morning or something. Because I don't feel the best in the evenings.
No.
You know?
It's tough.
It's evening is when my quote unquote morning sickness hits me the hardest is in the evening.
Plus we work, plus we have kids.
Yeah.
Well, I think, we'll keep you guys posted and let you know if we ever even get the energy to go out on a date. Well.
I like doing this. I think this is kind of part of our date.
Yeah, you've said that in the past, that this is one of those things that helps us connect. Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of why we started these podcasts. Just something to shoot the shit and, relate to one another. And because I think when you get into relationships, you stop discussing the real things. And that this podcast has been able, this podcast has helped us to discuss the real shit and how we're feeling about, not being afraid about saying that our kid is a fucking brat or being annoying or something like that, And
that's huge because I think as parents that is something that is really hard for one parent to say to the other for fear of judgment.
Yeah, absolutely. But fortunately, we're kind of in the same boat, and we feel the same way.
It was the first or second time we said it to each other, though. It was kind of an aha moment of hey, this feels like a weight lifted. We can both say man, the kids were really fucking tough this week, and it was not my favorite.
Yeah.
Or I was super, last night, great example. Rhett got up 3 fucking times in the middle of the night, and I was very annoyed.
Yeah, I know.
Because I was struggling to sleep anyway, and then he kept waking up every 2 hours, and he hasn't done that in a long time.
Great. Now we're falling into your insomnia.
I know.
Great. That's wonderful.
I know. And so
I don't know how many times, because during the last pregnancy, she had really bad insomnia. So she would middle of the night, 3 a.m., I would roll over and she's just wide awake. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so creepy.
I wasn't even I wasn't on my phone or anything. I tried to
I just knew you were there and you would stare at me awkwardly. I'm like, this is so weird.
It's
just like pissed off that I'm able to sleep.
Yep. Middle of the night pregnancy rage.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's normal.
But no, this overall, being able to do this, have this conversation every week.
It's helped us a ton as a couple.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's kind of therapeutic. Mm-hmm. So we highly recommend it if anybody wants to get in the talking shit about your kids podcasts. We highly recommend it.
We are always willing to host guests.
Yep,
so
absolutely. Just reach out, let us know. Mm-hmm. We're going to wrap it up there. We appreciate you guys listening to us banter on about bullshit, but you know what? It's life, guys, and we're all doing it together. So,
thanks so much for listening.
Bye. Thanks everybody for listening. You can check us out at
freezermilk.com
or Instagram,
Freezer Milk Podcast.
Until next week, guys. Thanks.
Don't forget, parenting is a trip. We are all here on the journey with you together. Thanks so much for listening.